Hello everyone, this is not Ariel Helwani, this is Guilherme Cruz from Curitiba, Brazil, and I'm going to shoot a preview show for Saturday's event with Patrick Cummins.
None other.
So first shot, we're going to start with the Fight Pass Prelims. There's a guy named Patrick Cummins fighting there.
I've heard
you
of
him.
I've heard of him, yeah. I hear good things, actually, yeah.
He's fighting Antonio Rogério Nogueira, a Pride veteran, a legend in the sports. First of all, you're fighting again in Brazil. We can say you are already a Brazilian.
I am. I'm expecting to get a passport and an apartment after this fight, but I haven't. It's not in my contract or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, this will be my 8th fight in the UFC. 4 of them have been in Brazil, so this is my home. I feel good here.
How about fighting Little Nog here in Brazil?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's another guy that I can put on my put in my pocket and say, yeah, I'm gaining all the experience that he's had, after a fight with him. So it's great. The venue is crazy. It's it's awesome. I feel like this is the grand finale for all my fights here in Brazil. This is the grand finale, and I'm ready to put on a show.
How motivated are you to come back here and fight him and come back to the winning column after that fight against Glover?
Yeah, I thought after the Glover fight, I thought, okay, that's going to end my stint in Brazil, and I was excited when they said, hey, they want you to come back, and I feel like I have unfinished business here. I want to get a W, end on a high note, and especially in a place like this, the stadium's huge, and it's such an epic fight card. So.
And it's a big fight card for your whole team, right?
Yeah.
In the main event, your friends, teammates, Verdun is fighting, defending his belts, his Miocic. What are your thoughts on this matchup? It's a tough one for Cavallo.
I think so too. I think Stipe is like one of the best up and coming guys in heavyweight, and he's just. I mean, you've seen what he's done. He's been dismantling people, and he looks great, especially lately. So, I looked at this fight and I thought, man, that's a tough matchup. It's a title shot well deserved. But at the same time, man, I trained with Fabricio. We've done this whole camp together, and man, that guy he's just sneaky. Like, he has so many little tricks. He's so comfortable in the octagon. He's everything that makes a champion, and he's a tough guy. He's got all the skills, but then he has that little bit of extra that really, in my eyes, that's what wins the fight for him.
If you're Stipe, how do you beat Verdun?
You have to. I feel like you need like a mole in training camp to kind of say, hey man, you gotta look out. These are like the 10 tricks that he does. Don't put yourself in this situation. No, I don't know. He's just. I think if he just stays solid, if he can win the striking battle and not get too anxious, because Fabricio's tough on the ground, man. He's so sneaky. So if he can win on his feet and bang for 5 rounds and come out on top, okay, he can do it. But I think there's a whole lot more going on there.
Yeah, of course. And if Verdun wins this, or is he already the best heavyweight of all times?
He's definitely up there. I mean, obviously he's got to hold the belt for a little while. In my opinion, he's got to hold the belt a little while longer to really achieve that. But, from my perspective, knowing the guy and knowing what he's capable of, yeah, he's right up there. Yeah.
In the co-main event, we have Jacare Souza against Vitor Belfort. A fantastic matchup. We don't usually see Brazilian against Brazilians here in Brazil.
Yeah.
People like to watch Brazilian kicking Americans' ass.
Yeah.
But,
we need to hear that chant. We need to hear the chant.
Vai morrer.
Yeah.
Who do you think the Brazilians are going to root for?
I don't know, man. Vitor's he's a superstar here. So I feel like they'll be rooting for him. But at the same time, this is the country of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So Jacare's got. There's got to be plenty of people pulling for him, and that's what the fight comes down to in my eyes. I think if Vitor can keep it on his feet and do well. He's dangerous there, but Jacare brings it to the mat. That's where he's the best. So it's one of those fights. Classic striker, grappler. So I would say it's in the early rounds. It's going to go towards Vitor. I'd give him. It'd be in favor of him for sure. But as the fight goes on, the momentum's going to slowly start going Jacare's way.
that's the classic Vitor prediction. Everybody in every fight says that early in the fight it's a Vitor.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You gotta go in with confidence.
Yeah. If you're betting your money on this fight, who are you picking?
I'll go with Jacare. I just there's something about a guy that can pull it out in the third round, and you know what I mean, like really get that engine going and stay strong. All of his abilities shine in the third round. There's something I like about that. So I'll give the nod to him. Although it's pretty close.
Another great fight, one of the most anticipated fights in this card is Chris Cyborg's UFC debut against Leslie Smith.
Yeah.
Were you surprised when they finally gave her a shot in the UFC?
No, I wasn't surprised at all. I know Chris just from training in Southern California, and I mean her personality is huge. She's a star in the making, and I think I'm actually surprised that it took this long for her to take this step into the UFC. But you can kind of tell they've been planning it for a while. They just want the perfect opportunity, and this is it, man. She's ready. She's ready to do it, and it's her hometown. It's pretty awesome for her.
Not many people are picking Leslie Smith in the fights. Are you?
That's a tough one. Yeah, that's a tough one because that's a serious underdog pick. But I will say I think Leslie Smith is tough, man. When her ear exploded against Jessica Ai, and she's mad at everybody, at the doctor, at the ref. Come on, let me keep going. I mean, that's the heart of a fighter, So you definitely can't count her out. But Cyborg's powerful, man. She's powerful.
And a fight in your division between Shogun Rua and Corey Anderson.
Yeah.
It's a tough fight. Vitor is coming off a win over your opponent. Shogun is coming off a win over your opponent, and Corey Anderson is on a roll now. How do you see this matchup?
I see Shogun kind of. I'm gonna say he's got this. He's got the experience. He's still young, and he's in shape. I've trained with him through this camp. I kind of have the inside line, so you can bet on what I'm saying right now. No, I'll give it to him. Although Corey Anderson's a tough guy. He's a really tough guy, and he can wrestle, he can strike. He's got it all. It's just I think Shogun's a little too much for him.
How painful it is to spar with Shogun on a daily basis?
How painful is it? Listen, fighting is painful. It doesn't matter who you're going with. It's actually been great for me. It's been one of those things that I can say, okay, I'm getting experience, and how the guys at Kings. They have a reputation, right? Everybody goes hard, so I can be like, yeah, all right. I just watched Shogun, twice this week, and pretty much a real fight. So it's good, it's a good, as long as you're not getting injured, because that's such a huge thing these days, and as fighters get older, that shit happens. So I don't know. It is what it is. Yeah.
The fifth fight in the main card is Wally Alves against Brian Barberena. We're replacing Anderson Silva, just got health issues.
Yeah.
How do you see this fight? Do you think Barberena, after derailing the Sage Northcutt hype, is going to derail Wally Alves' hype too?
Wally Alves is he's a tough dude, man. You look at him and you're just like, yeah, that guy's a fighter, and he's in it to win, and he has such explosive power. But at the same time, there's a positive and a negative to that. You start dragging it out in the later rounds. That's when he's going to struggle a little bit. So I look at Barberena as he's just a tough dude. So if he can last that first round and stretch things out and start making things go his way, I feel like he can pull it out. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me liking his beard so much.
We've seen 198 is a stacked card. Among the other fights, which one is like the best matchup for you?
The best matchup? Well, we were talking about Damian Maia earlier, and I think, that guy is. I've never seen anybody be able to employ their game plan the way that he does. There's so many good grapplers in the UFC, and They can't grapple all the time, man. Damian Maia finds a way to do it, and he's dominant, like 100% of the time. So I'm looking forward to that fight. He's a favorite of mine, and plus he's a nice guy. Yeah.
That's a great pick.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patrick Cummins, and we'll continue here in Curitiba, bringing pre-fight interviews, post-fight interviews, weigh-ins, photos, videos, everything. Check out MMAfighting.com. Thank you, man.